kind of felt this song today
We don't own
because
this
of what
music.
we don't own this music, but this is basically what's happened in sports the last 5 or 6 days.
You said the Beatles?
Beatles, John Lennon, Instant Karma.
Okay.
It's gonna get you.
Hey man,
Sometimes we jump out there and do something and say the wrong things.
one of the greatest groups ever.
One of the greatest groups ever, one of the greatest songwriters ever.
Yes, you're right.
Shout out to John Lennon and Yoko Ono.
Shout out to him.
So, this is the TD Report. I'm your host, Dave Combs.
I'm Tony Kennedy.
So, as we fade this out, Tony, you and I have been talking a lot about sports over the last, I don't know, 20 years, right? Since we've known each other. We've known each other a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What's happened today, or in the last 2-3 days, with this Rachel Nichols ESPN issue has blown up sports. Front page of the New York Times, New York Times sports section. And it's not about sports. It's about people who talk about sports.
Yeah, what gets me is Rachel Nichols said that the NBA, ESPN is trying to be diverse or
Right.
this diversity stuff, but I don't understand. You're part of the diversity, Rachel Nichols.
She is.
You're part of the movement.
But that's a sectionalism thing. And the issue I have with what Rachel Nichols said was, and number one, I don't disparage Rachel Nichols' talent. I'm not taking anything away from her. I'm not taking anything away from her.
No.
But I can't take anything away from Maria Taylor. Maria Taylor's rise on ESPN, going from, she played, what was she, a volleyball player in college or basketball, but a college athlete, moved her way into ESPN, and then it's moved her way up to being on the microphone. I mean, she was going toe to toe with Nick Saban, and didn't flinch. And she was in the right. She asked the right question. And the thing is, the thing I like about this is Nick Saban came back later and said, "I respect the young lady for that. She's a reporter. She has a job to do. She's a professional." Okay. Now, Rachel Nichols comes from a background of some import in entertainment as well as news media.
Yep.
Diane Sawyer is her mother-in-law. She's married to Diane Sawyer's son.
Whoa.
So Diane Sawyer is about as ABC as it gets.
Yes,
She's at that Barbara Walters level.
She is.
Diane Sawyer could have easily snapped her fingers and gotten Rachel Nichols any job in media she wanted. Rachel could have a job at ABC on the big network, right?
Yep.
Because when you look at people that started out in media and they start out and they work in a local news market, like say the DC area, then maybe they'll go to an ESPN. We've had a lot of alums from the DC metro area that have moved on through ESPN. Chris McKendry does Wimbledon coverage and did it for many years and did a great job with it. Michael Kim went on from the ABC affiliate here to ESPN. I mean, and the name goes on and on. Brett Haber, Aquaman. We call him Aquaman. But the names go on and on and on, right? And we can bring some of all of that back to the king, George Michael. I mean, making DC
Sports Final.
Well, that's
Sports Machine. It was called Sports Final first, then it was Sports Machine.
In my belief, the Sports Machine is what ESPN ripped off.
Yeah, they did.
ESPN ripped that off.
They sure did.
Okay, that
was the
format.
first one.
That was the first one. Wasn't it great?
He was the first one, man.
Wasn't it great?
Yeah,
and George Michael would sit there and have that rickety looking machine that it probably didn't do nothing, but he'd press the button. Let's take you out to the Cap Center. Let's take you out to Madison Square Garden for WWF WrestleMania. I mean, he would have wrestling on the show. But I'm sorry to get off the topic, but you understand our fervor for sports and the people that bring it to us, whether they're in the studio or on the sidelines. What this amounts to me, is that Rachel Nichols feels like she's being moved out of the way for Maria Taylor to rise. And I think there's plenty of room at ESPN, as broad a network as it is, okay, for two women at the top of their games as reporters, as journalists. There's news features, there's news magazines that they have, E60. I mean, there's ways that you can highlight Maria Taylor and get the ratings that you want if you're ESPN. And for Rachel Nichols to claim that she is a diversity hire or diversity promotion, it takes a lot away from the work that Maria Taylor has done to get her to the position she's in. She doesn't have Diane Sawyer to help her out. She doesn't have the suits at ESPN that were backing her from the very beginning. Now, Rachel Nichols could well say, hey, neither did I. I had to work my way up. Well, guess what? So did Maria Taylor.
Yeah.
The question comes, what do you do now? What's the end game? Because now these words are out there. You've heard the video. Have you heard the tape?
I've actually not heard the tape. I've seen
man.
I've heard the words. And my thing is, in this thing here, we all make mistakes. And what we need to do with Rachel Nichols is allow her to explain herself. And we need to come to the table with this. And because what we don't need is we don't need two women like this fighting when they're both actually covering a male sport like this and being front and center in a male sport in the biggest time of that sport with NBA Finals.
What was it, Tony? 30 years ago, in the locker room with the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
A lady reporter was in the locker room and she was not treated right.
Yeah.
All right. Sexual harassment, borderline assault, menacing, bad situation. And here we are now where we're talking about not just the Gail Gardners of the world, the pioneers in the sport. We're talking about Doris Burke. We're talking about Rachel Nichols. And shout out to Doris Burke. Doris Burke on NBA or NCAA basketball is about as good as anybody else, men's or women's. It doesn't, or pro. It doesn't matter. She's incredible.
She's incredible. Right?
So those are the people that inspired the Maria Taylors to come to ESPN. And now ESPN has kind of stepped on itself because Rachel Nichols gave she gave about a 30-second apology at the beginning of her show, The Jump, yesterday. And then Kendrick Perkins and, Richard Jefferson, they spoke. They're former NBA players. They're also the co-host of the show. They spoke for a solid minute and a half each. So at this point, like you said, if this is going to be brought to the table, I would love it if we could get Rachel Nichols and Maria Taylor to sit at our table with us and we could all talk about it. I think Rachel would do it. Rachel's game. She
definitely
former Washington Postie.
Yeah, she would definitely do it.
Wasn't she? Yeah, wasn't she Washington Post?
Listen, the cat fight or whatever they had.
It's not a cat, but it's not a cat fight. This fight is with ESPN.
With ESPN, yeah. We just need to find a way. Get them to apologize. Her to apologize to it, and let's move it. Let's keep it moving.
Amen.
Because they've come too far. We've come too far to just play on catching somebody at the wrong time. When she said it, and probably at the wrong. I mean, if they had to follow us for all the stuff that we say and the stuff I talk to Cody and talk to Chet about every night, man, they would think me and Chet were Archie Bunker and your boy George Jefferson.
Yeah, George Jefferson.
That's what we sound like on the phone. But I mean, that's personal stuff that we talk about.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Rachel Nichols was on a telephone call, or I think it might have been a Zoom call, where she was speaking with one of LeBron James's advisors as well as his agent, Rich Paul. So there were two other people on that call. So some of the things that were said negative about Black Lives Matter and the Me Too movement, you have LeBron James's agent sitting right there commiserating with Rachel Nichols about how he's tired of Black Lives Matter, how he's tired of the Me Too movement. And Rachel Nichols co-signed on that. That's problematic, Tony. And that's problematic for LeBron. LeBron right now is going to catch some flack. Number one, because he's LeBron, okay? But number two, if you want to be a global icon, which is what LeBron wants to be, and LeBron James has been very outspoken about Black Lives Matter, the Me Too movement, and what people would call the woke movement in the NBA, okay? I don't call it the woke movement, okay? I don't call it that. If you're against sexual harassment or racism or classism in any way, that's not being woke. That's called being a human being. That's my opinion.
Being a decent
human, person. A decent person, right?
That's all.
Okay.
That should be all of us.
So anybody that wants to come at me and say, "Hey, Dave, you're a woke warrior," well, damn it, that's good. That's what you're supposed to do. The right thing. You are supposed to fight for the right thing. I think what's going on right here is that ESPN has lagged behind so long, and this is where I do agree with Rachel Nichols. ESPN has dragged behind so long. And now, with Black Lives Matter, with the Me Too movement, ESPN has settled any number of sexual harassment lawsuits, or where people from there were sending dirty jokes or pictures of their genitalia to women, or out-and-out assault. I mean, the list goes on and on. I have an entire novel on allegations against Mike Tirico, allegations, against Sean Salisbury, allegations against numerous.
But they cut your boy
ESPN
off,
person.
though.
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce.
Hey, look, Paul Pierce.
They cut Paul Pierce off fast,
Look,
boy.
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce
Pierce hit.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, the devil's lettuce.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think the strippers might have had something to do with it too.
I don't know.
I mean, he went a little too far. I love Paul. Paul is my guy. I love Paul.
Yeah.
He went a little too far on that one. I mean, he could have done the smoking the blunt and maybe got away. But you can't be smoking a blunt and have strippers.
Wait a minute.
Really?
It was Marv Albert on ESPN?
Yes, he was.
You know what Marv Albert did? Marv Albert was
Hey,
biting.
look,
he was
Marv. Hey,
biting
listen.
asses.
Hey, shout out to Marv Albert, who
Oh,
did
yeah,
retire.
listen,
He
Marv,
called us.
I understand, dog. You was biting, and he was biting asses, and he was doing whatever he was doing.
Hey,
and he stayed.
Hey, that was consensual between two grown adults that can make their own decisions.
Marv,
If that's how you get off Marv, I ain't mad at you. I'm mad at you.
But you know what? Great career, Marv.
Yeah, Marv is my man.
But that
Yeah.
bedroom dog,
Well, listen,
Marv was
Marv
up in
got
that
back on
bedroom.
TV though. Marv got back on the mic.
Marv was biting asses.
Marv was biting women. He was.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, but they wanted, these particular women wanted him to bite
He
them.
was part of Me Too. He was like Me Too.
No.
Yeah, he was. That's what he was.
No.
Yeah, he was.
So that being said, Tony is wild. So when I look at this situation, I say to myself, what's the end game? What's next? Then the other shoe drops today. Rachel Nichols yanked off of the sideline for ABC's coverage of Game 1 of the NBA Finals.
I think that's
and
a
replaced with Malika Andrews.
You know why I think
That's a
it's
big mistake.
You know why I think it's a mistake? First of all,
Knee jerk reaction.
let's get this straight. You got two of the smallest markets, the 11th and the 37th market. Put together, this is probably the lowest NBA Finals. With all this hype going on, and she on there, man, people would have been just tuning in to see her.
Thank you.
I'm talking about ratings.
But this is ESPN
man, the ESPN
trying to do the right thing, thinking they're doing the right thing and doing the wrong thing.
Y'all need some of us up in here.
I'm gonna tell
Y'all
you.
need all of us up in here. Cody, myself, y'all need us.
And I want everybody right
Y'all
now,
got the clowns over there working.
all of our listeners, please hit the like and subscribe button. It's down in here. It's right down in here somewhere. Probably over. It's probably over here. We've got Cody on comments. Thanks for Cody for running the show today. Thanks for being with us today to talk about sports. Tony was hyped up about this. Hey, how are you doing? Guys, I got to tell you, we are smelling some really good soul food coming from Tony's mom's kitchen at this
She
point.
always cooking.
Yeah, she got chicken wings in there, man.
She
You
got.
know, I can't eat before
They
a
doing
show.
surf and turf.
They're doing surf and turf. I
So,
can't
yeah,
eat. I cannot
Angie
eat
over here
before a
and
show.
everything, They doing.
Yeah, I
a
can't
road
eat
dog.
before a show. I can't eat before a show because I might get the itis in the middle.
Yeah,
I'll be
you-
over here snoozing in the middle of the show because I ate 10, 15, 20
We give a
chicken
shout out
wings.
to them sisters Ride Holly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Sisters at Ride Harley. Shout out to y'all, friends of the show. There they are. So, and they actually ride Harleys, y'all. Like for real.
For real.
For real. They actually ride these bikes.
More than what
I couldn't ride a
You give me
Harley.
a mini bike.
Yeah,
That's
just
what I
give-
need. An adult
No,
mini
just,
bike.
Just give me one of them little 4-wheeler joints.
I just
Them
need an
ATV
adult.
joints.
I want a little adult mini bike.
That's what you want?
That's all I want. That's all I've ever been on.
Man, that thing's like a big wheel, Tony.
I don't care. Man,
Okay.
that's my favorite.
It's like, remember that?
That's my joke right there.
So, let's segue into the NBA Finals, since we're down to two teams. Got the Milwaukee Bucks, hailing from the Eastern Conference. Great series, took out the Atlanta Hawks. Congratulations to them. One of the smaller market teams. People said that small market teams can't succeed, but when you have a star, like the Greek Freak, Giannis,
37 for market.
37th biggest market, but it's about how you build your team, put your team together, and put the best product on the floor. Right now, Milwaukee fans have one of the best products on the floor in the NBA.
They sure do.
And they have for a few years. So you could say that the last year with the bubble, it negatively impacted the Bucks the most. The Bucks were thought that last year was their year. Now they're here. Now let's talk about on the other side. Phoenix Suns, story of the year. They basically gone wire to wire this season. The second best record in the Western Conference. Is that right? I think it was something like that.
Yeah. They were number 2.
One of the biggest young rising stars in the league, Devin Booker, who's killing it. And the thing I love about it, he's not doing it with 3-pointers really. He's getting it with twos. And it's harder. It's hard. He's
playing
doing
his
work.
game. He's
Book,
putting work.
Book is doing work.
Mhm.
Chris Paul
Mhm.
makes it to his first finals as a player. And congratulations to Chris Paul. He's been in a lot of places.
It's over.
He's worked his butt off, but this is his year. This is his shot.
It's over.
I think he might be able to get the championship this year. And then let's talk about the DMV connection. Monty Williams coaching your Phoenix Suns. Monty Williams down in Potomac, Virginia.
No, Potomac High School in Maryland.
Shout out.
Potomac. Hey, shout out to Monty Williams, buddy.
Yeah,
Class of
shout out.
89.
Yeah, shout out to Monty. That's really, really cool.
Mhm.
And he's not an old guy. He's like, what is he, like 48? Something like
50,
that?
I think he turned
might
50
be
this
50.
year, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
He's a great story.
Mhm.
Come from a lot of personal tragedy in his basketball career.
Mhm.
You remember he was signed by Notre Dame and
Mhm.
in basketball.
He had that
And
heart
they
murmur
thought
or
he had the
something.
heart murmur
Yeah.
that messed up his college career. He had a good pro career. Played for the Knicks for a while. Had a decent pro career. But I think the interesting thing about Monty is his basketball knowledge
Mhm.
and his ability to relate to players. And at this point in the game, this is more or less about relating to today's players, what their needs, what their wants are, what they're looking to do. And as the NBA changes and shifts in terms of a metrics-based league, you've got to have a coach that understands how things work now
Mhm.
in terms of how shot selection works, the defensive alignments. The Suns have been great this season, and they've continually risen to the challenge.
Yep.
They took out the Clippers.
Took him out.
Took out the Lakers.
Got rid of him.
That's gotta hurt. It's gotta hurt, Lakers fans. But I'm here to tell you.
The LA champs.
Yeah, they're the champs. Yeah, right now the Phoenix Suns are the champs of LA.
They're the
They
champs
own
of
LA right
They
now.
own LA.
So when you look at this series, Tony, when we handicap this series, we've got about an hour and a half before the game starts at 9. Who do you like in this series and why? And I'll tell you mine. I'll tell you my
I'm
pick.
Phoenix all the way because I really think that your boys do, and I think that Chris Paul he's just going to will them. He's not going to let them lose.
I just want to say that Devin Booker has made the biggest impact to me over
Well,
Chris Paul.
A
Well,
book is.
Book is thing,
Oof.
I
but
just feel like a lot of flack is going towards, a lot of credit's going to Chris Paul because he's been trying for a long time.
But I like
Booker
that.
willed
But
his way to this
but-
finals.
but-
I think that's brilliant work in the front office. I
Yeah.
got this young stud, but I'm gonna bring in basically what he is, what Chris Paul is at this point. He's the jockey. That's what he is. The team is the horse.
Yeah.
Chris Paul is the jockey. He's the one with the crop.
but the biggest thing it takes all the pressure off of Booker.
All of it.
All the pressure's
It's
off
all
of
on
Booker.
Chris
Now,
Paul.
when you got a person who's like as good as Booker and no pressure,
All,
that's the problem.
all Chris Paul has to do is the Suns need to win the series, and all Chris Paul has to do is average about 15, maybe a little
15
less than 20, 15 to 18 points.
15 and 12.
And he is your finals MVP.
15 and 12.
Let's-
He's the odds-on favorite to be Finals MVP.
Let's talk about the other side of things. Milwaukee comes in a little dinged up. Okay, Giannis is injured. Okay, he was moved from doubtful to questionable today, so we don't know how far he's going to be able to go or how much of him you're going to see today on that knee if you see him at all. Here's my take on that. If I'm the Bucks, I sit him for game one. I don't even have him warm up. I sit him for game one.
Because more than
It's
likely,
no. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah,
You're an
more-
athlete, so
more
you
than
understand this better
likely-
than I do.
your goal is to get one out in Phoenix. So if my goal is to get one, and he's questionable now, I'm sitting him now so I can have him with more
Game two.
full strength in game two.
Let's get him in game two.
Yeah.
Give Phoenix a sense of we got these guys. Give them that sense of confidence, and then you sneak up and you steal
Yeah,
game
because
two.
if you steal game one tonight without your star,
Oh, y'all in trouble.
You-
Phoenix
then-
in trouble.
then
Because
you
then game
cook 'em
two,
with Frisco.
game two becomes a must-win for Phoenix.
Yes, and then if it's a must win and you getting your star back,
Right.
and you won without him,
Exactly.
I mean, to me, don't get me wrong. If
Mhm.
I stole game one without Young,
Oh, I'm
guess
feeling
what?
good.
He not playing game two. I'm
That's
gonna
right,
wait to
right,
game three
right.
to play him.
Yep.
Because if I still 1 and 2 without him, series is over.
Well, it's the age-old NBA adage. The series doesn't start until somebody loses a home game.
Until
That's
everybody
when
loses.
that separates the men from the boys, literally.
That's when it
So
gets-
We've got an NBA Finals going on. We've got controversy off the court with the reporters and ESPN that handle all of the media side. We're going to move into another topic here on the TD Report, something that's near and dear to our hearts. I didn't play college sports. I covered it. Tony played college ball. How many scholarships did you have, T?
Oh man, I had about 30 offers
In football.
and I had 3 in basketball.
What were the 3 in basketball?
What was it? Towson, New Mexico, and New Mexico State, I think it was.
Wait a minute. You had a chance to play. Did you have a chance to play for the Bear? Wasn't the Bear at New Mexico, or is that Texas Tech or Texas? No, that would have been UTEP. I'm sorry. That would have been UTEP.
Yeah,
Texas Western became UTEP. My bad.
Yeah. I had New Mexico, and
It's Neil McCarthy.
I didn't.
Questionable.
Yeah, he's questionable.
Upgraded to questionable. Okay, so Giannis got upgraded to questionable for tonight. He's actually in on-court drills. He hyperextended his left knee on the 29th. I don't like that. Just let him warm it. Let it get warm and see how. Because you know what they're gonna have to do. We got to see how it behaves
Yeah.
after you've
Week
said,
out.
huh?
It's a week out.
It's better. Game 2 would be exactly a week. I think that would be.
Now it's exactly a week.
So now it's exactly a week.
Yeah,
It's
because the
6.
29th. and it's
So
the
would you
6th,
playing
30th,
tonight?
Yeah.
I think I would.
Cody says he's playing.
Depending on what he looks like on the court
See,
during the drills.
when we go to Vegas, I'm gonna leave Cody on that craps table. See if he comes back and he got any money.
Hey,
Because Cody's gonna let it ride.
I want to hit that 50 joint.
Cody's gonna let it ride. I like that though. He's got a philosophy.
I ain't messing with Giannis tonight.
You say no.
Yeah,
so they
because
show
I
him walking.
I like the way their team is.
So we've got him walking. Big man walking.
Yeah,
he's
Yeah,
a little,
he a whole lot
he's a little
gingerly.
gimpy.
He's a little gimpy, dog.
He's a little gimpy on that. You
Yeah,
got
he's a
sleep
little
on
gimpy,
it.
though. But
Yeah,
that don't. Nah,
no. Just play him in game 2, man. Yeah, but you
nah,
know.
dog, look, he's a
well,
little gimpy, dog.
There was talk. There was
When I
talk.
was coming up, it was known, and I'm sure it was the same as y'all. In a championship game, if you can play, you play.
If he can walk.
He was walking.
All right.
If he gets on that court,
Alright, he
and
get
if-
out
if
there.
he- If he makes a couple of them shoot arounds,
The Willis Reed.
You
Get
put
it.
him
The
on
Willis
that
Reed.
That Willis
Even
Reed
if it's
stuff
just
is
a
a different
distraction.
era.
That's a different era,
We're gonna
man.
Stop that.
Nah, this is going to be an interesting series. I know it's going to be two smaller market teams, but listen, we're Washington Wizards fans here on this show. If Milwaukee can get there, can the Wizards ever get there?
Well, how about if we would have drafted everybody that
We were supposed to.
Yeah, we were supposed to.
How many-
We didn't.
we might have had-
We passed up on Giannis.
We might have had 2 shots. We actually,
We had
Tony,
2 shots
we
at
might have
Giannis.
had 2 shots at Giannis.
We had a shot at Middleton.
We had a shot at Middleton.
Well, I mean,
everybody got shot.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, basically, what the Milwaukee Bucks did is they picked up a couple of guys, not that nobody wanted, but the people overlooked.
But they developed them.
And that's the key. They developed them. They paid them. Fiserv, what is it? Fiserv Forum, I think it is, in Milwaukee,
I believe a
is
lot
one of the
players-
best facilities in the NBA. It's state of the art. Okay, it's literally the house that Giannis built. If Giannis is not in that organization, they don't probably build that thing. All right. That's incredible. It's great for it's great for that part of Wisconsin. It's great for Milwaukee. I know Milwaukee fans were a little upset with the ESPN coverage because some of the guys on ESPN kind of made fun of them as an NBA city, and that's never going to go over well. So really, right now, Milwaukee doesn't want to see any ESPN people at their place, and I get it. But the TNT crew, Charles Barkley made a few comments, and I mean, come on, Charles Barkley went after San Antonio and said that's where ugly fat women are and stuff. And I mean, he said it on the air. And
Milwaukee's the home of Harley Davidson.
Milwaukee's the home of Harley Davidson.
Yeah, it's the home of Harley Davidson.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
And a lot of beer.
I mean, come on. I mean, it's Milwaukee, home of Laverne and Shirley,
Isn't
man.
that Milwaukee's best or whatever?
Yeah, the Beast. The
But
Beast.
Even like I think like Anheuser-Busch is in Milwaukee.
No, A.I. Bush is in
St.
St.
Louis.
In the St. Louis.
St.
Okay,
Louis.
there's
Yeah.
another
And
big
it's
one
not,
in
but it's not
Milwaukee.
family owned anymore. It's owned by some company called InBev or something like that.
Yeah,
but
Milwaukee is home. That's why the Harley Davidson symbol is on their shirt. Yeah, they
Oh,
have it
really?
on sometimes on their jersey. Yep.
And the engine that's in most of new Harleys are Milwaukee.
But you know what was funny? The thing that's on the Wizards one is Geico, because most people don't understand what Geico stand for.
Lord.
I mean, they didn't. I mean, you see the commercial, government
Government employees insurance company.
That's what Geico
That's what
stands
Geico
for.
means.
Did not know.
Yeah, a lot
Yep.
of people didn't know that.
Basically.
The
Yeah.
catered towards the government employees.
They were.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
That's what Geico was.
That's what they started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they started.
So let's switch gears here on the TD Report. Again, I'm your host, David Combs, here with Tony Kennedy. We've got Cody Bennett from the Bennett Breakdown behind the desk for us today. We're talking sports. We touched on the Rachel Nichols situation. We can loop back to that at the end if you're just now joining. Please hit the like and subscribe button for us. It's right over here. We definitely need subscribers. If you love the show, you hate the show, let us know. But if you hate the show, we want to know about it because that means you've heard of us. So definitely do that for us. Cody's going to be on comments for a little while today. One of these days, I'm going to get on comments. I just want to let you know I'm a little, I'm a little petty. So if something comes across as like kind of snappy or shitty, it's because it's me. It's not Cody. So let's not blame Cody for any smart remarks to come your way. So moving into what Tony wants to talk about: namesakes, images, and likenesses in the NCAA. What do you think about that, Tony?
Wow, folks, this part is great because of the athletes need to be able to market themselves and get paid. The guys at Virginia Tech know we had to go in the little thing in the car to get 4 quarters to get that daggone single single cheese at Wendy's. We was hungry in college, man. We was scraping up things, man, to get
As much as y'all whooped UVA in football, they ain't feed y'all down there.
We ain't
That's the least they could. That's the least
they.
Y'all went 2-2.
No, we went 1-3. We went 3-1 against West Virginia.
Oh, you went 3-1. Yeah, but y'all got hit with batteries and stuff.
Yeah, we got hit with batteries.
You got hit with batteries and dead squirrels and all kinds of stuff.
College
football is kind of
college athletes were broke. They give us a little KFC thing of chicken.
A bucket.
No, the little tiny.
You get a box.
The box was probably no bigger than this. You know, a little box of chicken, couple pieces, and then the thing, and they give you a $10 bill.
You
after
kidding?
the game.
That's it.
That was it.
That's not good.
I
How
mean,
you supposed to make tackles
you
on?
know,
How you supposed to make tackles on a leg and a wing, Tony?
You couldn't even You couldn't even take your honey to the movie because the movie went up to $5.50.
That's
so
right.
you were $1 short.
You was short. You was short.
That movie.
You got to tell your girl to go down in her purse to get you into the movie, Big T.
Yes, indeed, dog.
Come on,
take
man.
Me back into the movie.
That's terrible.
I think the joint now. How much is the movie? Like $12?
Oh yeah, $12. And there's no such thing as a matinee anymore.
Ain't no more matinee prices?
No.
Oh yeah, the movie's tripping. No. That's why
my son wanted to go to. My son wanted to take.
5 stick.
My son wanted to take a girl to a movie, and I gave him. What did I give him? I gave him $30, and he looked at me like I gave him a nickel. I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Dad, the tickets are $12 each." I said, $12. So I do the math. That means he has $6 left, and you know a bucket of popcorn is $6. What do you see in the first couple of years of this? Because this totally changes the college football landscape. Well, college sports changes that landscape, especially in the revenues.
Well, what it does now is, how teams can go. I mean, let's say you can go and grab a player, and he said, at Virginia Tech, let's say Sheila Chevrolet. Let's say they cut a deal with the top quarterback, and they giving him $5,000 a month to promote Sheila Chevrolet.
Okay. But
Sheila Chevrolet is on with Virginia Tech.
Well,
how is that fair?
Well, I'll say this: we've had Sean Moore on our show, UVA quarterback, probably one of the best quarterbacks they ever had, other than Mike Vick, one of the best quarterbacks out of the state, right, all time. Like I would say, it would probably be Mike Vick, Sean Moore, Allen Iverson in there somewhere, because a lot of people don't remember Allen Iverson was a fairly decent high school quarterback. And Ronald Curry. Come on, I'm sorry. Curry. That joker had like 90 touchdowns, right? Was something ridiculous, right? So UVA used to have, and you guys probably had it with the football poster, right? Every year, like a car dealership or one of the big companies like Centel would host or would sponsor the UVA football calendar. It would be usually Sean Moore and Herman Moore on there, holding popcorn or something in their pads. What were they doing? Repping the school and giving their image and likeness to the school. They didn't get paid for that. They were going to Tennessee State. Master P's son,
$2 million deal.
Percy Miller's son got a $2 million deal to rep a web application firm.
I believe a lot of that is credit because he's Master P's son.
what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Yeah,
I'm just saying
right.
that I don't think
Nothing.
any other NCAA.
And
I will say
had
this:
quite that
if
opportunity.
if I'm the CEO of, I don't know, FedEx, and my son is a C student and he ends up at UVA, don't ask why his grades got him in there. You know I helped him. There's legal ways you could legally bribe your way into Harvard, legally. Jared Kushner's father did it. He paid Harvard $2 million. And Jared Kushner, who was a C student, had no business going to any Ivy, goes to Harvard. That's how this game works. So I don't begrudge a college athlete, whether she be a lacrosse star, whether it be a football player,